Hi, in this video, let's take a look at all the existing assets in our scene. So what I'm going to do right now is just go to my perspective view. So go to Panels, Perspective, Persps, because this is my render camera over here. So let's go over here and let's take a quick look at how these assets are made. So these are really simple objects over here. These are just simple cones. And as you can see from the name, cone color 1. So they're pretty much polygonal objects. So they're pretty much made from polyprimitives cone right here. So just different cones with different colors. These are simple polygonal spheres. As you can see, if I'm right clicking, it's showing me that it's a polygonal object, vertex, edge, face. That tells me it's a poly object. So again, it's made by just going to a simple polygonal sphere. And then we have the polygonal cubes right here. And if I F2 frame on that, those are all the different cubes. And then we have the poly cylinders. So if I right click on it just to make sure that is a polygonal object too, and all polygonal cylinders. Then we have all these other elements over here, all the way from A to Z, all the alphabets right here, and you can see everyone's named. So cap A, cap B, C, all the way. And then we have in capitals and we have lowercase as well, all the way from A to Z. Then we have some nice little symbols over here. So the dollar sign and the pound sign over here, the pound for the Great Britain, pound sign, and right here the euro, and so on, the yen, and here's a comma, here's a period, here's a little asterisk or star, and ampersand, and here's an at symbol, and so on. And we have the numbers 0 to 9, which were used, pretty much all these were used in the, if you look at the animation again, they were used in the top part where the text comes in. Like the word all the way from 100 million years to 2048. And right here, if I select the background, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the outliner to select that. So let's go to Window, Outliner, although you can open it from on the side over here, but since I'm using a small resolution, my buttons are buried below right now. So I'm just going to go to Window, Outliner, and I have an outliner floating window, so I'm just going to get that in. Let's zoom out a little bit. You can see that the scene's nicely organized, and this is a very, very important thing, to organize your scene in terms of not only your layers, but also in terms of your groups. So you can see everything is nicely grouped. There's a one layer over here, which is called Unmovable. That was pretty much the bottom of the shelf over there, and it's referenced. So I can select it now, and that's the back part. And everything is nicely organized in groups as well. So if I just go to Sets, Props, and Camera, so if you're sharing this file with anyone, that person should be able to take the file and just break it down very nicely. So Sets, Props, and Camera, I go here and you have the shelf, which is this guy, and then you have the back wall, which is this back wall over here. You have a camera and you have something called Mental Ray IBL, which I'll show you in a later video. Then you have the symbols right here, these guys, and everything is nicely named again. So if you want to select the yen, you can just select it from here too. Then you have the 0 to 9, again, right here. You have the A to Z capital, so that's cap underscore A. And you have A to Z single, right there, the small ones, lowercase, and then you have the cones, and the spheres, cubes, and cylinders. So everything's nicely organized in the scene, and this is a very, very important thing in any project, whether it's a small project or a big project, to organize your scene. So scene management, object management is extremely important. So start naming your objects, start putting things in layers whenever needed, or start putting things in groups whenever needed, and that'll really, really be a good building block or a good foundation to a good project. So I'll see you in the next video.